Wow, that was uncalled for. I think at this point, there's a lot of things to say about it. It's all over the internet. I had a talk with it with my girlfriends. And what's really funny is that people really focus on the action of it, what he did, every consequences of the action itself. It's something that he didn't have to do. It's something that honestly came across as somebody that just don't have control on himself. And the point with Will Smith and what actually made me even talk about it is because I grew up with this show, the iconic Prince of Bel-Air in French, but everybody knows that show. Really sense of humor, being a comedian, being an actor, he's been good, whatever he was doing, he was good, and he's still good, right? Now, when it comes to the act itself, you didn't see that coming for many reasons, because Will Smith is just not like that. He's not that person that's gonna punch you in the face.
Wrong house, fool! Hey, Big Smoke! It's me, Carl! Chill!
A lot of people think about it as the fact that he was protecting his wife because he was making fun of her being bald, which is due to the fact that she has alopecia. So she has issues with her hair. So there's a lack of self-confidence here, a lot. And when you see somebody that you love and that you care about so much, you can't help but wanting to protect that person even more, right? It's something that is natural. It's something that is human for us. It's something that, even for me, when it comes to my family, I would have no problem if you want to talk ish about me and talk ish about just me in general. When it comes to my family though, I'm becoming a beast. I could be the sweetest girl ever, but when it comes to people that I know and I hold close to my heart, it's not gonna be cute. That's all I'm gonna say. All of that comes down to the fact that there's a lot of things that happen prior to it. And when I talk about it, it's because when you get to be online, when you get to show up, when you get to expose yourself like that, and you get to be a public figure like that, there's a lot that you share that maybe you shouldn't. And setting boundaries is the first reason why people can honestly keep the sanity alive being online, because you can share everything. And I'm just gonna go back to the famous entanglement with August with Jada, and I think there's a lot of things that happened since then.
Time launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good or feel that way, but I actually don't look at it as a transgression at all.
The past 2 to 3 years, they've been on the loop. They've been made fun of so much online. And Will Smith has a very sensitive personality. He wanted to be the tough guy or wanted to prove to everybody how tough of a man he is. And that's something that maybe I grew to love a lot about him, is because he didn't pretend to be a tough guy. He's a sensitive one, he's a soft one, and is okay with that, right? He's not trying to play a part here. He's not trying to play a role, unless when he is in a movie, right? That's why a lot of people kind of got attached to him as the person he was, because he's always been true to himself since the beginning. Now, when you have that kind of sensitive side, there's a lot that you can take, there's a lot that you're gonna take for yourself, because you don't want to hurt anybody. And even when you get hurt, you keeping all the things inside a lot. And the need here to talk about it, to share about it, let's say the entanglement and what actually came down after it, was a lot to handle. When you go through such a challenging situation in your relationship, in your family, it's already tough to even get through it, believe me. But when you get to do it in front of the public, it's even worse. And I think their mistakes was definitely to put themselves out there and really share all of those dirty shit to the world to kind of judge. It comes down to the fact of judging rather than understanding. A lot of people now, when they see what happened, they're gonna judge and just put a label on something that happened. It was a good thing to protect Jada. It was not a good thing for him to be violent. It was bad enough, you know? And we're thinking about the image. We're thinking about the kind of public figure he was. He was respected. It was, a lot of people had that respect for this family in general. So of course, it's easy to put a label to it because it's easy for us. We have to categorize things, right? When you have to understand, it takes a lot more energy, it takes a lot more effort, and a lot of people just don't have time for that. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to do that at the end of the day. The point for me here today is to actually bring something that is even more deeper, the need for mental support. Because when you get online, when you get confident on videos, when you kind of show up and you want to be aligned with your true self, if you're sensitive like that and if you're creative, because at the end of the day, I see Will Smith as being a creative more than anything else, because he's able to have that empathy for just human beings in general. And you can see it, you can feel it. And when you have that empathy, being a creative, there's a lot of emotions that can affect you. There's a lot of emotion that you're just gonna keep for yourself because you don't want to hurt anybody else. And whatever happened since the entanglement with August had everything to do with him showing more of himself, smiling more to the life, really showing the best side of him and being understanding of what happened. Even during that interview, his face that he was trying to be understanding.
I feel like that husband, like I'm with you at the press conference. I'm that husband, now I gotta be with you at the press conference while you like tell the world about your transgressions.
People came for that. And now you get to a point where Chris Rock during the Oscars makes a joke. That, if it was not for the last 3 years, I'd say nothing like that would have happened, and I'm sure of it. When you get to put into perspective what happened the last 3 years, you know where man comes from. Again, I'm making it clear. For me, violence is just a no-no. It's all about discussing, it's all about exchanging. Insulting, judging, all those stuff is just not my thing. That's why I have that neutral tendency to be like, I want to understand. I don't know. We all coming from different backgrounds, different perspectives, different situations. I respect Will Smith for the person he is. I don't respect what he did. He didn't get to that point and didn't make a plan to go and punch Chris Rock during the Oscars. You need to understand that all of that had nothing to do with the fact that you made a plan of it. When you're creative, even being a man, you're sensitive, and I think in the society we're living in, there's so much to do with feminism and the fact that women want to be more empowered and want to be more their own bosses. We need to normalize guys being sensitive as well. And I've been through those situations where you have a guy that has that sensitivity and that could be really something that he could use for him, but he's gonna use it against him because the society literally tells him that being a man is something where you just can't have emotions like that. You can't display your emotions like that. It's just not manly enough. You're not a man at the end of the day, especially in the Black community. If you don't normalize the fact that you have emotions, that you can be emotional, that some things can affect you, that you deserve to be happier for yourself first, you deserve to have that joy for yourself first, you're never gonna be aware of the fact that you actually need help. Will Smith really copped a lot with smiling, bringing more joy, really getting into those different content that you could see from him from the past 2 to 3 years where he was really being himself, but it was showing more of the coping mechanism of not showing the real self, not showing what actually was going through. It's not something that you want to put online like that, but it's something that you need to be aware of in order to even look for help in your private life. It's about setting boundaries. You can't be out there sharing your dirty shit to the world and expect people to be nicer than who you are to yourself. I'm sorry. I would never have freaking things in my bedroom and share that to the public like that. Because at the end of the day, you're still a public figure. People are gonna come at you from the moment they see your weaknesses. They're gonna come at you real hard and real tough and real rough. So you can't always be bringing things like that to the public for them to actually judge and even do worse than that, because then they can affect you, they can go for you. So whatever they did 3 years ago about opting up about the whole entanglement situation was not something that they had to do. Maybe it was a good way to make money out of it, monetize it, but I think they didn't even realize the consequences of all of it until then. How much putting yourself out there can be detrimental to our mental health is something that nobody talks about.
Got to be able to have people disrespecting you. And you gotta smile and you gotta pretend like that's okay.
We talk about how much money we can make online, being out there, showing up online consistently, exposing yourself, being vulnerable to people. People don't realize how hard it can be. So when it comes to that point, you can't even expect somebody to keep the sanity, not explode like he did. Again, I don't justify it, I'm just stating facts here. And I really want to stress the importance of mental health, because I know a lot of YouTubers that I follow, that I love. They got through their own burnouts, a lot of them. And the more you're getting successful, the more the stakes are higher. So if you don't have a solid mental health, you don't have a team behind you that actually guides you healthily, it's easy for you to give up. It's easy for you to just go madness. Somebody like Will Smith did that, somebody else could have done that. And I feel like with the times and the thing just getting worse and worse in the world at this point, it's just gonna get to the point where people are gonna get madness like that. Because nobody thinks about how much detrimental the online world is. You can do a lot online, you can do a lot being a public figure. You have a lot of benefits if you do things right. And I'm not saying that you should not put yourself out there, because I do believe that putting yourself out there the right way could be a way to heal yourself even more. But you have to be smart about it, and you have to know who you are. I think people don't realize that when they see people online, they can't necessarily think about, oh, she's confident, she can do this, she can do that, I can do the same. Put a stop right there and really see what you can do. And to see what you can do, you need to understand who you are deep down. It's not about masking, it's not about pretending to be somebody you're not. If you're a sensitive person, take it as it is. And don't forget, you're evolving. 2-3 years ago, I would never have realized that actually deep down, I'm an affectionate person. I love to give love. I always saw myself as being a cyborg.
They thought that we would be a part of their evolution, but they have created us to evolve alone.
Being emotionless, and I grew up around people that actually were really cool. I had really great parents, but we don't display a lot of emotions where you know that your parents love you and you love them back, but there's nothing where you can actually say to your mom, I love you. It's not something that we did in our family. And I know African families, it's like weird things to even say, like, oh, you know, I love you. Mom is gonna be like, wait, what?
Which kind girl are you?
But I'm lucky to have a mom that is not like that. It's not that we never really got used to it. So displaying emotion is something that is to be learned as well. But you need to understand that you're evolving through the years, and with maturity at a certain age, there's a lot of things that you're discovering about yourself. I realized a lot more things that I didn't know I was in my 20s, early 20s, right? So it's really important to be compassionate. Don't be so harsh on yourself to the point of just excluding yourself from the possibility of healing and deserving better, right? And when we got through bad things and we believe we don't deserve more than what we have now, we have the tendency to just sabotage everything around us. That's just a bomb that's gonna come at some point. You may not feel that now, but you're gonna feel that 3 years after, just like we saw a couple of days ago. Normalizing all those emotions and really be okay with embracing those emotions, and that's a big challenge for me as well. And embracing that affectionate part that I know I had a tendency to kind of run away from because of my own trauma. And this year I'm making it a point to work on it, because the more you kind of keep things inside, the more at some point you're becoming a bomb. So you can't necessarily be truly happy, even if you are with the best person ever, if you have the best business ever online, even if you put yourself online, you're never gonna find true happiness if you don't confront all those things, if you don't confront all those demons. If you keep running away, they're still gonna follow you. No matter the country, no matter the city, no matter the dimension, they're still gonna follow you. Maybe they're gonna take time to kind of catch up, but they're gonna follow you, and when they catch up, it's just getting worse every single time. So you need to think about the fact that emotions have that important place. Being a man, we need to normalize it. Being a woman, we have that, and we kind of overuse it. The point here is that the modern feminism kind of puts men in the place where they can't even speak up anymore. So that was my 2 cents advice on it. I think I kind of probably shared a lot. I honestly just came here like waking up in the morning, getting ready for work, and I was like, wait a minute. Everybody is talking about it, and I really want to kind of bring my own sense of advice to it. I hope it makes sense for you. For the time being, I'm still having a lot of other videos coming here. There's a plan, there's a lot of things that's gonna happen, but subscribe to the channel. You're gonna have a lot more. There's a lot more about video confidence, being on camera, showing up online, aligning with your true self, and I have a podcast for it as well. Take it as your wake-up call podcast, and it's really a point where I kind of go with stories, and I go with my own stories, and I share a lot about that, right? And the mindset and what I learned from them. So probably gonna have more of it. The last thing is my Facebook group. My Facebook group is still Take It As a Wake-Up Call on Facebook, and it's a place where, as a creative, if you're dying to meet people like you and you feel like you're the only weirdo in your social circle, well, you're not the only one, because you're gonna find a lot more people in that group that kind of understand you even better. So I haven't been the most consistent, but you know, I'm working hard at it. And like I say all the time, keep smiling because it's free and contagious in a good way. Bye.